Hey, what is up my fellow tubers? If you didn't know, a few months ago I did a review of my short-lived GPX Superlight 2, and unsurprisingly, many of my complaints were relevant to a lot of viewers and other Superlight 2 owners as well. Of course, in that video I also showcased another Superlight, but not the two that I had purchased. The coating on that original Superlight that I got after that practically ended up drying off, so I figured that since it's been almost a year from the release of the GPX Superlight 2, I figured I might as well pick up another one and give you guys my honest thoughts on how much this Superlight 2 compares to the one I purchased a while back. So starting with the main mouse button switches, as we all know, they are Omron optical mechanical switches that they are calling light force switches, which is just another dumbass buzzword that any company can use to make it sound much fancier. And on my first go of the Superlight 2, I found the switches to be literal dog shit, very annoying and pingy with a lot of actuation force needed to make a click. However, on this new unit, when I first used it a week ago, the switches were similar in terms of the actuation and sound, but they have managed to break in much faster and smoother than my other mouse. I don't know if Logitech decided to loosen up the switches from factory or not, but the clicks on this mouse sound and feel pretty solid. Of course, I would still prefer to have even sharper and snappier clicks because I love to spam the shit out of them during the sweatiest of game gooning sessions, but as of now, I can't say that I am upset with the switches at all. It might be possible now that the swappable PCBs are a thing for the Superlight 2, so there is always the option of changing the switches anyway. But overall, I can say that the mouse button clicks on this unit are pretty solid, and yeah, I don't have any complaints. The side buttons on this mouse are also pretty solid even for a Superlight compared to my last one, so as of now, I do not have any issues with those. I will now briefly talk about the scroll wheel. No issues at all. I did not have any issue with the scroll wheel or the encoder on any of my latest 3 Superlights. However, I have seen a few people on mouse review that have had some issues, so it is definitely a prominent thing with these mice, but not only with Logitech mice in general, but Razer and Final Mouse, and yeah, you get the point. The issue that really destroyed my expectations on my last Superlight 2 that I got was the very poor bottom to top plastic housing of the mouse shell. This meant that when I just moved the mouse in any direction on my mouse pad, it would creak and make a very faint popping noise that pretty much finalized my thoughts and feelings on that mouse. But this new unit that I have been using for the exact same amount of time as that old one has no issues with creaking or flex on the bottom or the sides, which is very good for me since I have a massive disdain for a mouse that sounds like I am sliding a fucking hexagonal dough roller on my mouse pad. The skates are also to be expected from a Logitech mouse. I don't have any issues with them personally, but the stock skates are generally agreed upon as one of the things that is recommended in replacing on this mouse. For the sensor, we have Logitech's Hero 2, and it's good and it feels very snappy and precise on this unit as well. Though I cannot say for sure that I have ever had an issue with any of the sensors on the Superlight. However, once again, I will not say that this issue does not exist on any mouse in particular, but for my case, I am happy with the performance of this one. Also, USB-C is again much nicer than the pain of micro USB. Very long awaited indeed. For an issue that I have found with this mouse that I just received that I have come across is with the G-Hub software. I usually don't like to add any comments about the software to a mouse because if you understand gaming mice, then you pretty much know that all gaming mice software is the fucking worst besides maybe Final Mouse's web software solution, but for that I have no idea if it is actually good or not. For this mouse, I had to update the firmware with the mouse once I got everything set up and plugged in on my PC. I plugged the mouse in to the USB cable and then the dongle into the USB slot on my computer. The update was finished and I was allowed to change the settings and set an onboard profile with the mouse, but every time I opened up the G-Hub app, it would say it was finalizing the update, which was very odd, so after a bit of research, I ended up deleting the malware of G-Hub and proceeded to reinstall said malware that is G-Hub. Problem was solved after another trial of updating the mouse, and yeah, that is about it. So as much as it being an issue, it was more of just a minor inconvenience, but any software that you download for a mouse, I'd say is pretty much a fucking issue. And for all that, yeah, it pretty much just sums up this mouse so far. I have no glaring issues as of right now that would otherwise have me return this plastic pointer. I was fed up with the last Superlight that I had in regards to the dog shit coating on that one in particular. So far it seems that the gaming mice lottery has rolled in favor of this unit actually being worth the $130 I spent on Amazon. I still feel that all mice brands are in fact riddled with issues from the software to the hardware and the build quality that they all seem to have. It's the equivalent of like buying a Hershey's chocolate bar, but instead of you receiving a Hershey's bar, it is just a Mr. Beast chocolate bar bar. Yeah, it's still chocolate, but it's not what you expected, and it tastes like shit. You do have to just trial and error each mouse, and if a specific mouse is something you are after, then you just keep buying and returning until you get a solid unit. Truly dog shit indeed, but such is the effect of a miserable quality control with fucking mice that cost 150 plus taxes. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have enjoyed this S-tier quality cinema. Please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to this base YouTube channel for all of your unbiased, unfiltered reviews and thoughts on many things in entertainment. And as always, I will catch you all in the next one. Later.